Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new box office breakdown show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Sundberg. Today, we're breaking down the box office of this previous weekend, which was August 18th and 20th here domestically. We're also going to take a look at the DCEU box office. Where does Blue Beetle rank with the rest of the DCEU as it pertains to box office? Then also talk about the 2023 worldwide and domestic numbers, and also taking a look ahead of what's coming out in theaters this upcoming weekend. My name is Max Sundberg. Welcome to Max Talk Movies. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. If you're new, get notified when my videos drop if you ring that bell down below. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and this show every single Monday. So please subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. First of all, what are your thoughts on the state of DC at the box office? What can they do to fix it? What are your thoughts on the overall box office? Are there been surprises? Have there been falters, which we'll get into? Let me know in the comment section down below. And please like the video, guys, a thumbs up button. If you're just even tuning in for this video for not even the entire video, it really helps to support the channel by liking the video. So please hit that thumbs up button down below. Really helps more than you guys think at home. So let's get into this past weekend's box office, where we finally got another movie to unseat Barbenheimer, the first movie to unseat Barbenheimer, and that is Warner Brothers Discovery's Blue Beetle. Hitting theaters this past weekend. It only made, though, $25 million in its opening weekend. And this is the lowest opening of the three DC films that have come out this year, even lower than The Flash and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. We'll get into that in just a second. Also, this movie does have around $120 million production budget. That's before advertising. And also, if you also take into account, this movie was supposed to be a Max original film that went straight to the streaming service. But the Warner Brothers, it tested really well, so that's why they put it in theaters. And it does not sound like that James Gunn saying that this character will be a part of his DCEU got anyone in the movie theater. This is really disappointing, especially for me, who really likes this movie a lot. I think it's a really great movie. And it's such a positive, uplifting movie about family, and to see it not do well. It really does show a great job of showing you the Latin culture and Latino culture, Hispanic culture. And it's sad that it just isn't doing great at the box office. $25 million is a really bad opening. And when you look at the DCEU completely, it's the second lowest opening of the entire DCEU. Again, that starts with Man of Steel, that goes all the way to Blue Beetle, but does not, this list does not include the Batman or Joker. But the lowest opening weekend was Wonder Woman 1984, which was released not wide. It was released in select theaters during the pandemic, and it was also available on HBO Max. The Suicide Squad, which was also a simultaneous release day and date in theaters and on HBO Max, made $1 more million than Blue Beetle did. As it pertains to the lowest exclusive in-theater movie for the DCEU, that was Shazam! Fury of the Gods earlier this year. That opened to $30 million. And it got to around $200 million worldwide. The Flash earlier, it opened to $55 million, but only made $268 worldwide. So both of those were total catastrophes. And this is $4 million lower than Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and nearly $30 million less than what The Flash opened with. So now I'll say the biggest benefit is that I'll say with this movie is the word of mouth and the critic scores are very good. So Blue Beetle could have some legs, but this is not a big winner for DC. And now, once again, it does not have like Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam! Fury of the Gods also only had a $125 million budget. According to the numbers.com, this only has a $120 million budget. So comparing to Shazam! Fury of the Gods, $200 million is not going to cut it for a $120 million budget. You need at least like $400 million really to break even. And Blue Beetle, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and The Flash are going to lose money for Warner Brothers Discovery. Really bad news for DCEU. They still, as of now, have one more movie hitting theaters. That is Aquaman 2 in the Lost Kingdom, hitting theaters on December 20th. That is the last DC film of the prior regime to hit theaters. But again, we're going to follow Blue Beetle. The opening weekend does not mean its entire run, but not a good opening. It needs a lot of legs to make it worthwhile for Warner Brothers Discovery. In second place, finally getting unseated, was Barbie, as I said, in its fifth weekend. Barbie dropping only 38%, $21 million in its fifth weekend. It's now up to 566 domestically. We'll get to where that stands in a minute. But again, Barbie only lost to Blue Beetle by $4 million. And again, these are both Warner Brothers Discovery films. One's probably going to lose the studio some money, and one is the biggest generated revenue maker off of a movie in its theatrical market in the history of the studio. So the dualities with these two movies, both from Warner Brothers Discovery, both at the top two at the box office. But still, I'm not going to keep repeating what I've said the last couple of weeks on the box office breakdown show. But yes, Barbie is at number 2 of 21 million. Oppenheimer is at number 3 this weekend, dropping 43%. Gets another $10.7 million. It's now up to 285 domestic. Based on its worldwide gross, this will be Nolan's biggest movie outside of Batman, outside of Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. This is Nolan's biggest movie, which will pass Inception for his biggest non-Batman movie. So big win for Universal for getting Nolan. Big win for Nolan himself, who, again, I think still could be mad that Warner Brothers trying to get back at him by putting Barbie releasing the same day as Oppenheimer. But I think you can tell, this movie still would have made its money, but it made a lot more, I think, because of the hype with Barbie. So even if Nolan might not appreciate what Warner Brothers was trying to do, I think it helped him more than it hurt him overall. In fourth place from Paramount is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It's in its third weekend, dropping 44%. It's up to 8.5 million this past weekend, 88.2 right now domestically. Really just at least got to hit that $100 million mark. Paramount did announce a week before this movie came out that they were doing a sequel movie and a sequel TV show, which will be like kind of like the in-between of the first film and the second film for Paramount Plus. Hopefully they stick to that. The word of mouth is good. This movie is definitely hanging around in the $8 to $10 million money, which is good right now. And as I've said last couple of weeks, there's no family films hitting the marketplace anytime soon, like animated films hitting the marketplace anytime soon, not really until like November range, where we get Trolls at the end of the year, we get Migration at the end of the year, and we get Wish at the end of the year. Ninja Turtles and Paw Patrol in late September. So it has at least the next month or so, like 4 or 5 weeks, to be the only animated film in the marketplace. So we'll see how long Mutant Mayhem can stay in the top 5. And wrapping up the top 5 is the other new film, which was released this past weekend. This is also from Universal, and that is Strays, making $8.2 million in its opening weekend. Universal now kind of 0 for 2 with their last 2 B movies. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is already in its second weekend outside the top 10 domestically this past weekend, and only its second weekend. Universal's had a great run on B movies doing well at box office, Cocaine Bear, Renfield, and Megan to begin the year. But right now they're in a bit of a tumble with Strays and Last Voyage of the Demeter. So we'll see if these movies, obviously Last Voyage of the Demeter did not hang on even the top 10 very long. We'll see what Strays does overall. When we get to the domestic numbers so far this year, we have Super Mario is still clinging onto the number 1 spot for probably the last weekend. On this show, we'll talk about it. Super Mario is at 574.2 domestically to Barbie's 566.8. So around $7.5 million for Barbie domestically. And it'll be the biggest movie of the year domestically. A huge achievement for Warner Brothers Discovery and Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie and Barbie itself. So it will be probably number 1 when I'm talking to you next weekend, breaking down the box office. The rest of the top 10 is Across the Spider-Verse is at number 3 with 380. At 358 is Guardians Volume 3, Little Mermaid's at 5 with 297. Oppenheimer is at number 6 with 285. So it needs another $12 million to pass Little Mermaid domestically to get into the top 5 domestically of the year. Probably will get that as well. Quantumania is a 7 with 214. John Wick Chapter 4 is a number 8 with 187. Sound of Freedom at 177. And at 173 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So far this year, again, 18 films into the $100 million club domestically. When we look at the worldwide numbers, this is where a bit more needs to be done to catch up to Super Mario. Super Mario's at 1.356 billion to Barbie's 1.280 billion. So it is under $100 million away. It's around $75 million away from passing Super Mario worldwide. So Barbie will be able to pass it, but it is trailing Super Mario at the international box office by a pretty big margin, around 70 million, and that's where that ground can be made. So we'll see if Barbie can make up that ground to become the biggest movie, not just here domestically, but worldwide. Guardians Volume 3 is number 3 with 844 worldwide. Fast X is at number 4 with 718. Oppenheimer is now a top 5 biggest movie of the year so far worldwide. It's also at 718.5, so it needs around $400,000, which it will get. So Oppenheimer will pass Fast X to get to number 4 worldwide, where it will probably stay for the time being. Across the Spider-Verse is number 6 with 682 worldwide. Little Mermaid's at number 9, 561, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is at 541 as well, worldwide, wrapping up the worldwide top 10 at number 10. So this upcoming weekend in theaters, Gran Turismo from Sony finally hits theaters this upcoming weekend. It was a film that was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago on August 11th, but Sony did push it 2 weeks. It's had fan screenings the previous 2 weeks. Did not help The Flash by doing free fan screenings. We'll see if that will help Gran Turismo. In the limited marketplace, you have Bottoms hitting theaters this upcoming weekend, as well as the new Liam Neeson thriller Retribution. Those are all the movies hitting theaters in the last box office weekend in the month of August. I'll be back with a lot of videos this week: Ahsoka reviews, after party reviews, Gran Turismo reviews, Vacation Friends 2. So a lot of things coming out to the channel. I'll see you guys soon.